Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to make a video that I promised you guys where I'm going to talk about the supplements I take on a daily basis to maintain my health. And a lot of this has changed a lot over the years, so this is going to be my updated supplement video, what I take. The first thing I'm going to talk about is Lithium Orate. This is a form of the mineral lithium that naturally occurs in the earth. And I take Wayland brand Lithium Orate, 10 milligrams once a day, and that's my maintenance dose for that. I will titrate the dose as needed. I'll increase it if necessary, but it usually stays around 10 milligrams. And I also want to point out that 10 milligrams is quite a lot less than I have been taking as a maintenance dose in previous years. And that would just be because my moods are a lot more stable and my cognition is generally better than before. So there's just less need to use as much now. Then the next supplement I take every day is, this is Nutricost magnesium glycinate, and I just noticed it's actually magnesium oxide and magnesium glycinate. I might actually switch to another brand soon because I like the pure magnesium glycinate better. But I take 400 milligrams a day of this. Oh, it's actually 420. I'm sorry, I hadn't even looked at the label. Maybe it had changed. But 420 milligrams, so that would be 2 capsules of this every day. Magnesium is just something that's utilized by a lot of different body systems like bones and teeth and brain and heart. So it's I think necessary to supplement with this because it's difficult to get the adequate amount from your diet. I also want to say that I think that I still am pretty much I think that most supplements that I take are pretty necessary because I have done experiments where I've gone off of them for a few weeks and I just don't feel as good. So I think that despite eating a healthy, balanced diet, the supplements are still necessary because, for one thing, I think that nutrition is harder to get from food nowadays because of different factors in the environment and pesticides, etc. And also, I think that certain neurodivergency issues, the brain uses more of that particular nutrient than other people's brains would. Particularly in people like autism, bipolar, and other kinds of neurodivergencies, they probably utilize more vitamins than normal people would. I take taurine, 1,000 milligrams. This is supposed to help absorb magnesium better, and I don't notice really hardly any difference, but I just have this bottle that I haven't used up, and I'll probably continue taking it at least until this one's gone. And I probably will continue it. I'm just not sure right now. I'm going to tell you later on here, after I get through showing you my supplements, which supplements I decided to quit taking and why I quit taking them. This is 5-HTP. This is the Now brand. I take about 200 milligrams a day. And I can't really tell if it does much, but it is meant to improve mood and boost, like lift up depression, boost your mood, like avoid depression. And it also seems to help somewhat with anxiety and panic. When I don't take it, it seems like I've had issues, but it's hard to tell if it's actually doing much. So I am still taking it now, but I think that I noticed that the only times I really need the 5-HTP is if I'm too isolated socially or not engaging in my life in a way that would naturally improve depression. So this is kind of more of a crutch to use, but there's probably more natural ways to improve depression without taking the supplement, such as probably exercising daily, having a healthier social life, and other kinds of things. Probably getting sunlight would help too. And I definitely try to do all those things. It's just that there's different reasons why things don't get done. But that would be a lot of talking to explain. So anyway, let's move on with the supplements. We have quite a lot. This is Potassium Chloride, and I've been taking about 4 tablets a day, and it's 99 milligrams, so I guess just under 400, or yeah, 400 milligrams. And this one is mostly just because I was hesitant to take this for a while, but I think that it's pretty useful for keeping my heart rhythm normal. And I don't get any heart palpitations when I take it. If I don't take it, sometimes I'll get heart palpitations that seem pretty random, but aren't actually anxiety related. I can tell the difference, okay? And I think that that just helps keep those levels normal. I will warn that potassium is considered a more dangerous supplement because it directly influences like heartbeat and stuff like that. And it, you know, like electrolyte levels, like salt interacts with it. So I wouldn't mess around with taking potassium unless you need it, unless a doctor told you to take it, or unless you just feel really confident taking it. Just a disclaimer on that one. Then I have selenium, and this is 200 micrograms. I usually take 1 a day. I try to get my selenium from Brazil nuts, but I think that I got lazy about not eating Brazil nuts anymore, so I have this on hand. And selenium helps support your thyroid's health, which keeps your weight normal and your mood and your appetite. Your thyroid controls a lot of things, but I don't have, you know, a lot of information about the body functions and systems for each supplement. Okay, I can you can do your research about these different, you know, organs and how they function. But most of the research I've done was several years ago, and I don't remember all of it. But the research I did at the time, when I did the research, convinced me that these supplements were worth trying at least. N-acetylcysteine, or NAC, NAC, is, I take 1,000 milligrams a day. This one, I also don't notice the effects much anymore. But it's supposed to help with skin picking, compulsion, that I still have at times, that sometimes I'll go a month or 2 without having the skin picking, and other times, like recently, I'll just go on a frenzy of picking my skin until it has marks and scabs, and the NAC is supposed to help that impulse to stop. I can't say that I've ever noticed a big difference, though, unfortunately, with that one too, but I'm afraid to not take it. I'm afraid what my skin would look like if I didn't. Then sunflower lecithin is one I like to take because of the phosphatidylcholine. This is Now brand, and I take usually, okay, let's see, it's 360 milligrams of phosphatidylcholine per 2 capsules. I usually take 2 capsules, but I have to be careful with this one because, first of all, the purpose of this one is to increase cognition, intelligence, and memory, which is important because when you have a bipolar disorder diagnosis, the manic episodes lead eventually, and the depressed episodes lead eventually to lots of steep declines in cognition, memory, and emotional regulation, where the lecithin can help balance that out and fix that problem. But if I take too much of the lecithin, it can make me really angry and irritable. And it seems like it does that every time I take too much, so now I'm almost cautious just about taking any at all. So I'll be very careful to be more mindful of how I'm treating others that day that I take it, or how I react to different stimulus, you know, because it's no good to ruin my whole day being angry and irritable over just taking this. So that one's to be used with caution. Then vitamin K2, I take 100 micrograms a day, and this is important to take along with vitamin D3. I have vitamin D3 10,000 milligrams, or 10,000 IUs. I try to get out in the sun for at least a few hours every day, but the vitamin D is still important because in the part of the world I live in, you can't really get enough vitamin D in the sun, even if you're out in the sun in the summer for hours. So this just helps make sure that my vitamin D levels are topped up. And I do think I noticed less depression and more clear thinking and less brain fog when I'm taking the vitamin D. So that one I might actually notice I have vitamin C, and the one I get, I don't like to use ones that are made from corn. The ones that are made from ascorbic acid are always made from GMO corn. So I get this one called, I think it's Fresh Healthcare. I buy it on Amazon, and it has 500 milligrams of vitamin C per 3 capsules, and the source is listed on the back, and that is acerola cherry fruit, camu juice fruit powder, rose hips fruit powder, citrus bioflavonoids. It also has black pepper, a little bit of black pepper, which is used to help increase the amount absorbed by the gut rather than not absorbed. So it says it has superior absorption, and I usually take 2 or 3 a day, just depending on whether there's sickness going around or if I've been sick myself. And the zinc picolinate, I take 10 milligrams, but I just definitely don't take this every day anymore because I do think I get an adequate amount from my diet most of the time. Sometimes I'll take it if I'm coming down with a cold or a sore throat or something like that. But I definitely don't think I need as much of this as I used to. And then I don't take the B complex vitamin anymore, but instead I take this pure Hawaiian Spirulina, which contains B12, vitamin A, vitamin K, magnesium, phycocyanin, GLA, chlorophyll, and zeaxanthin. It also has protein, chlorophyll. They are actually seaweed. That's a type of seaweed. They're green, you can see. And you can eat it as a food or a powder, but the capsules are easy to take. And I think it has all the B vitamins I need. I prefer generally trying to source most of my nutrients from food sources such as spirulina instead of taking so many manufactured vitamins, because I think that that's kind of how you're more meant to get those vitamins and absorb them. Then finally, I have this probiotic that I've been buying from Amazon. It's from Douglas Laboratories, which I think is a trustworthy brand. I'm kind of suspicious of buying probiotics because I'm afraid that they're going to not be active, but I've had no trouble with this one. It has 40 billion CFUs, lots of different strains of bacteria, and I usually take 2 a day, but since it's so expensive, I often don't take it every day. And that will help with gut health and digestion and general health, which affects and supports your mood and increases your beneficial mood. And less mood swings, less mania, less depression when I take that. Then I also take Lugol's iodine. This is potassium iodide, 4%. I take a few drops of this in water or juice every day. And it says talisman only, but it really is okay to ingest, I think. And it helps with your thyroid. It helps prevent breast cancer. It can also be applied topically to prevent cancer. And I think it gives me a lot more energy. I think if I stop taking it, that's when I get the most low energy issues. Now, I don't really super notice it, like it's not dramatic. So some of these supplements, it's hard to tell if they're doing much, but I think that they're just working kind of quietly in the background. Now, I'm going to talk about the supplements that I was taking for years and quit taking. And most of these were supposed to be anti-anxiety type supplements, and I think that they were mostly useless. But it might have taken me a while to either realize that or to admit that. And I think that because I was pretty desperate for a while to find a solution to anxiety, that I just wanted to keep trying things, hoping there would be some magic cure, but there really wasn't. And so the first one was GABA. I started taking GABA way back in 2018, I think. It was supposed to be for anxiety and panic attacks. I think it did something back then. And I kept taking it, kept buying it for years. There were these different brands that this naturopath doctor told me that were better, that I should take. But I ended up just not using those brands because I couldn't tell the difference between those expensive brands and cheaper brands that I would buy elsewhere. But after maybe, well, about maybe a year ago or so, I stopped buying GABA and stopped taking it because I just tried going off it to see what happened, and nothing happened. I couldn't tell any difference, and I just stopped buying it. And because I have a prescription for hydroxyzine now, I will use the hydroxyzine when I'm very anxious. I don't use it often, but when I use it, it works really well, and I don't feel any need for the GABA. So I also quit taking skullcap, which is an herb that is called a nervine that's supposed to calm your nerves. I quit taking kava, kind of a similar thing to skullcap, just supposed to be calming, anti-anxiety. I quit taking bacopa, another herb of a similar nature to those. And also ashwagandha I quit taking because it never did anything beneficial at all for me. I quit taking L-theanine, same reason. Couldn't notice anything it was doing helpful. It was just a waste of money. Okay. And yeah, I think that's pretty much a summary of it. Now, on a similar subject, I want to point out that I still use quite a variety of essential oils. I'll apply them to my skin, diluted with carrier oil for sleep and for anxiety and for just improving my mood in general. And I find those to be pretty useful. But once again, it's just kind of like everything I take that's natural is for anxiety is secondary to the hydroxyzine prescription. That's kind of my primary go-to for anxiety. So that's the summary of the supplements I take. Thanks for watching the video, and watch out for the other videos I'll have coming out soon on the other subjects I've mentioned. See you next time.